Game is so cool, man.
No one can hide from my sight.
No one can hide from my sight. I'm French. Alright, how's it going, everyone? Zonobro here, coming at you with another video. Today we're gonna talk about Overwatch. So, as you know, I'm not a professional video game critique or anything. I don't have a lot of experience with video games. I always play video games, but I don't play a lot of video games. But I really wanted to share my opinion about Overwatch, just in case you guys wanted to buy it or you guys were still thinking of buying it. So I'm just going to share my opinion, what I like, what I don't like. And Overwatch has been generating a lot of hype and heat in the video game industry. Some have very high expectation on it, some like it, some don't like it. And you know, guys, ever since League of Legends has been created and ever since League of Legends has been so successful, a lot of company has tried to eat the market share. Whether it's new MOBAs coming new month, whether it's like new games trying to be esports competitive, easy to use, hard to master. Well, everyone is trying to dethrone League of Legends, but without success so far. Overwatch is a game created by Blizzard Entertainment, the video game industry, the video game company that makes World of Warcraft, StarCraft, Diablo, Hearthstone, and Heroes of the Storm. And I feel like Overwatch is gonna be a big success, and I'm gonna tell you why. Let's talk about what I like about the game. The first thing I like about the game is the graphics. The graphics are very eye-friendly, and it might sound like a detail, but some games are impossible to be seen, whether it's from a screen where you're watching competition or streams in Twitch or Hitbox or whatever, or just by playing it. How comfortable is it for the eye? That stuff matters, I swear. The second thing is the gameplay. I love the gameplay where it's easy to use, which means that the first 10 minutes you're gonna play it, even if you don't know shit about the game, you're gonna have fun, but it's hard to master. And the fact that it's hard to master and it's very balanced, and I'm gonna talk about the balance problems, but because it's a beta, I mean, I can excuse it. But the fact that it's hard to master makes people like me, players like me, want it to be like the best. Like, do you want to strive to be the best? Do you want to work on your accuracy, on your movement, on your Steam strategy, on your Steam comp? And you start to get used to like some champion, and you start to like some champion and hate some champion. And the more you play, the more you understand the game, and you learn every time you go. And it's actually really, really, really fun. It's a fun game, hard to master, that I can't wait to play with some friends in like small local tournaments, for example. It must be a fun stuff to do. The third thing I like is that the format is different. It's a 6 against 6 players instead of 5 against 5 that we can see in almost every single game today, like Counter-Strike, League of Legends, Dota 2, and I feel like this 6 against 6 that Blizzard had to explain so many times during conferences is actually something that is really interesting. Like, why 6 versus 6? And the arguments are very clear, and I honestly think that it's not a problem to have 6 against 6. The only problem is competitively, of course. Like, organizations have to pay 6 players instead of 5. You have to ship, you have to like buy tickets for 6 players instead of 5. All that stuff is very logistics and investments. Like having 6 players working together is even harder than having 5 players working together. But honestly, the game is worth for 12 players and not 10. Generally, Overwatch is a game where I'm finding the same emotions and feelings that I had when I discovered League of Legends. When I started to level up my account and had a lot of fun. When I started to play new champion and just being curious about how to theorycraft to be the best and how to just be good at the game mechanically and the game knowledge wise. So I watch a lot of streams, I watch a lot of YouTubers explaining how to be better at Overwatch, and I find it very, very passionating. Overwatch is definitely a game for a beta that is really impressive. If you remember betas for even League of Legends or other video games, they were far from being as impressive as what we just saw. Now that we talked about what I like, let's talk about what I don't like. The number one thing I don't like about Overwatch is the time. Games are super short. You can play in 10 minutes, it can be over. Even like 7-8 minutes it will be over. But from what I heard, it means I'm level like 14 right now, so I don't play competitive. And as a new player, I don't know if you have the same feeling if you played Overwatch as well, but sometimes when the game ends and there's like defeat or victory, I don't have the sense that I did something to make this happen. Like, sometimes I'm even surprised to see that the game is already over, because whether it was too fast or there's not something that triggered the end of the game, right? In League of Legends, when you destroyed the Nexus, you won. When I'm pretty sure it's the same thing in Dota 2. And in other games as well. But I feel like in Overwatch, it's just not, you don't have this feeling. And this is absolutely, I think this is something to fix for new players, at least. The second thing I really wanted to judge about, critique about Overwatch are the builders. If you don't know the game, you have carries, healers, tanks, snipers. You have all sorts of class of the game. And champions are divided into different bowls with different attributes, whatever. And one of the group of champions are called the builders. So I think it's Bastion and the other dude who builds a turret. And I think the turret mechanic is something that is interesting, but overpowered in Overwatch. The thing I want to emphasize when I'm saying this is that when you see other champion like Widowmaker, Enzo, McCree, Pharah, with a lot of skill cap, which means that you can master the champion so much that it's actually impressive. Like, if the best tracer in the world would be, for me, way more impressive than the best Bastion in the world. Just because when you see the turret guy, he just turns into a turret, he has a shit ton of ammo, and he just shoot whatever he sees. I personally don't see impressive mechanics and interesting mechanics. It is really anti-fun. When you're a carry, you have about 200 health, and when you see the guy, you just lose a lot of health instantly, and it's just not fun. Especially if you have to capture points, or you have to attack a point that the enemy is controlling, etc, etc. I just think that the mechanic of turret is interesting and could be used more, but right now I feel like it just represents such an anti-fun, especially for new players. I don't know, I'm just not a fan of it, but I guess I need to learn about countering the stuff. But this is just my first impression and my opinion about Overwatch. That's pretty much it, to be honest, for right now, as I have like 20 hours or 30 hours on the game. One thing I would like to say is that Blizzard has definitely potential in this game to conquer a lot about the esports industry, and can convince a lot of professional gamers to actually like go from one game to Overwatch. One thing is that Blizzard would have to not do the same mistake as they did with other games. I know a lot of people are trying to take a market share on esports, whereas like League of Legends is dominating pretty much all the games. Looking at their business plan, they absolutely need to create more champions almost every week if they want to be at the same pace as League of Legends when they started. Like, League of Legends created one champion every Wednesday for a lot of time at the start, just because they had to fertilize the community, and it was just awesome. Like, every week you had a new champion to discover. It was absolutely amazing. Overwatch doesn't have to do the exact same thing, but I'm just comparing like the two games, because obviously everyone's comparing itself to League of Legends being one of the most successful video games of all time. And I feel like Overwatch would need, Blizzard Entertainment, Activision will need to create more champions. We'll need to create more gameplay, maps, new game mode, new brawl, all that stuff, and I think that it could be a really good game. One thing as well that they should do, and this is a huge challenge for them, they need to do a very friendly FPS spectator mode. I do not like Counter-Strike spectating mode, just because it hurts my eyes. The POV changes a lot of times. We'll see MLG like trying to do rotation, like drone vision, etc, etc, which is becoming way more comfortable for people's eyes. But I feel like if Blizzard can find a very innovative way of spectating FPS, it could be absolutely huge. Feel free to share your opinion on Overwatch. If you guys have tried it already, let me know if you like it, if you're gonna buy it or not. And don't forget that there's a lot of resource already in the game. There's already teams preparing for competition. And if you don't feel like you're gonna buy it, make sure you just go watch some streams on Twitch, or you go watch some YouTube videos. And yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys are gonna have fun. Honestly, it's a well-tailored game for new players, and I'm pretty sure you're gonna have fun with it. I think it comes down to $40 at the end for the first prize, and you have like collector edition, etc, etc. Definitely go check out other people, content creators that play on it, that teach you how to do it, or they're just entertaining doing it. And let me know in the comment down below what you think about the game. But personally, I think it's going to be a huge hit if Blizzard makes everything that I just said happen. And it should be fun to watch. Should be fun to watch, and it's already fun to play. Don't forget to leave a comment down below, a thumbs up, and I'll see you for the next one.